Being that it's Thursday morning out of the 8:30 news, it's a segment we look forward to. We call it What's Up, Doc, where we spend some time with the fine medical people from Mercy Health. And we look forward to it each and every week. We've met some really super nice people who have, apparently drawn the short straw and have to come and talk to us.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens. Today's victim, or the person who drew the short straw, however you want to look at it, is Dr. Artur Szymczak, and he is a neurosurgeon. A lot of people think of neurosurgery, tend to think of it with brain surgery, but that specialty encompasses a whole lot more, and he's going to tell you a little bit about it. Dr. Szymczak, good morning to you.
How are you, my friends?
We're very good. How are you this morning?
Well, apparently, like you said, I drew the short straw, but I'm happy to have drawn the short straw. So all's good, my friend. All's good.
Very good.
We're glad to hear it.
Very good. Do you guys talk about us, in the bullpen back there?
Only behind your back.
Okay, good. All
Excellent, because in front of our back becomes offensive. So yeah, we would prefer
it. It gets weird.
All behind our back. Tell us a little bit Tell us a little bit about yourself. First off.
Well, Artur Szymczak just moved to Rockford not too long ago in November of last year. Enjoying the community very much. You guys got some great people here, great community. Love to be here, and I'm very happy working at Mercy Health and helping out a few people on my side. So that's kind of the basics of what I did. Had my education all over the place, actually. Did my medical school in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada. Then did my residency in Western Ontario. And did my fellowship in pediatrics, actually, in Cincinnati. And now I'm here. And I worked in a few different places in the United States. I'm very happy to be here and enjoying life.
Cincinnati was your last stop before moving here?
Actually, it was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I worked in a children's hospital, Cincinnati, not Cincinnati, a Grand Rapids Children's Hospital. But I worked on both adults as well as pediatrics, so I get the honor of treating both the young people as well as the older people.
Outstanding. What is it that drew you toward neurosurgery?
Well, I got to tell you, the only doctor I ever knew in my life was a family doctor, and that family doctor was always a great person in my life. And I come from a regular people background. My mom's a seamstress. My dad's a millwright. Learned a lot of things from my parents. I always wanted to help, and I always knew I wanted to be a doctor, but not necessarily which doctor. And I got to tell you, one thing that I was concerned about being a doctor is, especially with neurosurgery, you think that neurosurgeons, all we do is operate on people, and I was kind of concerned that we weren't going to get to talk to people. And as I get older, perhaps wiser, I don't know, I learned that, communication with our patients is so very, very important, and even more crucial than some other areas, I would think. So the ability to talk to people in their time of need, the ability to help people acutely as well as chronically is very, very important to me, especially that communication piece. I just want to have a conversation, let's talk about it. Let's make sure that you get the care that you need.
I'm looking at a quote from the Mercy Health website from you. It says, you can't help someone if you don't treat them like real people and develop a relationship where you fundamentally care about them. I also strongly believe in collaboration and good communication. Sometimes the best solutions come after having a good conversation.
I always say, a good conversation, a firm handshake and a high five. You got to be real people. You have to be able to talk to people and ask, what's the problem? Sometimes the thing that's on the paper in front of you isn't actually the problem. A lot of times, I got to tell you, a lot of people are very scared that we're just going to operate on you, and that's it. I'm not interested in operating on you. I'm interested in helping you. And if that includes an operation, then God bless. If it doesn't, that's fine also. We want to make sure that we're doing the right thing for you. And I got to tell you, I'm a patient also. I'm not just a doctor. I'm also a patient. I think that's more important. And as a patient who's had the privilege of being in the hospital a number of times, I know what it's like to be there. You're scared. You don't always get the information that you need. And in order to make good decisions, you have to know what's in front of you. You have to know what the important pillars are, if you will. So I'm happy to have those conversations with people to make sure that you get your questions answered. But absolutely, collaboration is not important. It's actually critical.
When did,
sorry, go ahead.
When did you know and then decide that neurosurgery was going to be the medical track for you?
It's funny. One time I was driving back with my wife and in medical school, and I said, you know what? I think I want to be a doctor. And it was just a profound moment for, a neurosurgeon. It's just this profound moment for me. And my wife is like, uh-huh. No, you don't understand. This is a big deal. And this is like one of those life-changing moments. She's like, uh-huh. And finally, she says, I knew this a while ago. I'm happy you finally figured it out. So.
Wives are like that, aren't they?
She's a very bright lady, and I'm happy that she's on my side, not against me, if you will. So I think, this is one of those things that I've known for quite a while. But, there's a lot of things in neurosurgery that are very difficult. You see some really great things, but you also see some really trying moments. And I think if you're going to step forward into that space of being a neurosurgeon, I think you have to know what you're getting into so that you're really there to help people, and you don't resent your patients and things along those lines. So I've known for quite a while. I got to tell you, I really love what I do. I feel privileged to do what I do.
You know, this is our second week in a row of talking to a neurosurgeon, and
Right.
when I was talking to the lady that organizes this, she's like, "Do you mind having a neurosurgeon on again?" I said, "Absolutely not," because I have a couple questions to ask about neurosurgery. Is it the doctor we had on last week? Is there a difference in specialties amongst the neurosurgeon department there, or do you guys all attack the same kind of problems?
Great question. Great question. You know, like anything else, neurosurgery is a very broad field, and there's a lot of overlap with other fields also. So we tend to subspecialize in certain areas, but we all end up doing a lot of the same stuff also. So, for example, my partner has certain subspecialties, and myself, my subspecialty is pediatrics, but I treat a lot of adult conditions also. Instead, you know, we're all general neurosurgeons with subspecialties, if you will. So pediatrics is my subspecialty. But yeah, we all subspecialize. We all pick an interest, if you will, and kind of go from there.
So when a patient gets referenced to the neurosurgery department,
Sure.
how are those cases divvied up? Is it like a bullpen? Is there a rotation? You're up next, or is there somebody that a head there that knows everybody's specialty and directs the right patient to the right doctor? How does that work?
No, great question. And you know what happens is we work with some great people at Mercy Health, you know, committed people, and those people know what we do. And oftentimes you'll get an email or a text in the middle of the day, say, "Hey, Artur, how's it going? I have this patient here. What do you think? You look at the images." And then we kind of do things that way. So oftentimes things will get divvied up, if you will. But sometimes there's those cases or those people that really need some special attention that may need some, you know, some extra work, if you will. So we talk about those people very much on purpose and you know, kind of divide them that way. In the case that, you know, for example, if there's something that I do or don't do, I say, "Oh, this person needs this and this," before they see us, so when they come and see us, they have everything that they need, so we can all make good decisions and have a good conversation. But we have a person who's very much central in that role, but we communicate with that person. Deanne is her name, wonderful lady, and we just talk about our people and make sure that they see the right person at the right time.
That's outstanding. All right, I'm curious because you had mentioned that you know you're not looking forward to doing surgery per se. You're looking forward to taking care of someone, and if surgery happens to be part of that, then so be it. What is a better day for you? A successful surgery, or telling someone they don't need surgery, they're gonna be okay, and we'll see you later?
Well, I got to tell you, my favorite moment in neurosurgery and medicine, in fact, happened when I was a resident. And I tell all my stories, they all happen at 3 in the morning. It just sounds better that way, I think. So 3 in the morning story, this guy, we operated on him, was actually a spine surgery in this case. And this man was very much like my father, a good man, solid man. And he never said anything. He just kind of looked up after the first night after surgery, looked up at me, nodded, put out his hand, and just shook his head. That's my favorite moment in medicine, to be very honest with you. And as a resident, I've got to tell you, it's not like I had this profound impact on this man's life in the sense that I did the majority of the surgery or anything like that. At that moment, I knew I helped the person. I think, doing the right operation on the right person, that's wonderful. Doing the wrong operation on a person, that's absolute travesty. So I think what we need to strive for isn't, we have a hammer, let's find a nail. It's like you have a problem, let's find the right tool to help fix you. And then if that's neurosurgery, then that's great. If that's not neurosurgery, that's also great. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to just operate on you. And I take that very, very seriously. I want to make sure you get the care that you need, not the care that we have to offer, if you will. If that makes sense.
It does. It makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. A question I also posed to our neurosurgeon last week. I want to know what you have to think about this. We get a lot of information on how to take care of our heart, our lung, a lot of body parts. We know the basics of how to take care of it. But not a lot known about brain health, how to keep that healthy and operating.
Come on, I see the commercials during ball games for Prevagen and my little short-term memory, and I just got to throw a couple of these over-the-counter things down. I'm good to go.
Outside of over-the-counter supplements that Riley is taking by the handful, what should I do to take care of my brain?
I think a lot of things are just common sense. And I remember operating on a person, and this is 18-year-old guy that I operated on, took out a brain tumor. I said, listen, man, don't do anything stupid. I have a pretty informal relationship with my patients. Great young man. And then the next 2 weeks later, he sees me, and he shows me a picture of him cliff diving into a dirty lake. And then I said, this is kind of what I meant by don't do anything foolish. So I think so common sense, now I try to narrow that sense of what common sense is. But you know what? I think prevention, and you hear doctors talk about this a lot, and people almost start rolling their eyes when we, as doctors, say prevention. But I remember operating on a guy back in residency when it was the father of this young kid, and they're both rollerblading, and the child was rollerblading with their father. The child did very well. The father did not have a helmet and crashed into a pole. Unfortunately, the only thing this man could say afterwards was the word yogurt, and really didn't have a lot of use of his arms and legs. And I really think that, simply wearing a helmet in that situation would have done a lot. And, maybe, we as parents, I'm a father, I have 3 kids, we owe our safety, we have to be safe for our kids too. So I think prevention, things like helmets, taking care of ourselves, aside from helmets, which I think are obviously, certainly from a neurosurgical point of view, I think just taking care of your body in general. I have a lot of, say, spine patients, and we talk a lot about things like smoking and diabetes. And again, people roll their eyes at these things, but diabetes is a big, big burden on our society and big burden on people themselves. And one of the reasons why is because people just don't heal well. You can appreciate, we spend, with Dr. Janjo, my partner, or myself, we spend hours in the operating room doing our best for a patient. And because they have diabetes and diabetes is uncontrolled, they're just not able to heal well. And this is nothing that we can help necessarily. But the thing is, they have diabetes under control allows you to heal better. If you don't smoke, it allows those cervical discs that you have that may be herniated, it allows them to get more oxygen and to heal better also. So those basic types of things. A lot of things we talk about brain health. It's actually body health. And I think we can't forget those basics. And I think if we just focus on prevention in so many ways, we can do a lot to, hopefully not need myself or my partner for some of these neurosurgical things. So that's in general, what I would say about prevention, if you will.
That makes, once again, there's nothing you've said thus far that doesn't make perfect sense to us.
And basically, though, don't be stupid, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But, that being said, though, as a kid, I've done, I've snowboarding, bike riding, climbing cliffs. These are all things that I've done in my life, and I still enjoy in a lot of ways. So a lot of, what's stupid to one person is passion to another. And I think, like anything, there are risks in everything we do. We have to look at those risks. We can't say those risks don't exist. We have to be smart about the risks that we're taking because, you know what? I said, when I come home, I have my wife, I have my kids, I have my family. They're looking to me to be that support for them. So it's not just about me. I have to think about the people around me also. So let's think about these risks. Let's think, is this a risk worth taking?
Dr. Szymczak, before we we'll let you go, is there anything that we haven't asked you that when you knew that you were going to be on with us that you wanted to make sure people knew about?
Sure, absolutely. There's a lot of conditions that we treat in neurosurgery, and we've talked about this a little bit. Some of the things that I personally treat and are very interested are things like oncology, so tumors, brain tumors, spine tumors, hydrocephalus, this is the water in the brain, so things like shunts. We have a plumbing system in our brain, so take care of that. Congenital things, spine malformations, spasticity, trauma. And I have to say, one other thing is, concussions. Concussions are additive. So that's important too. There are also the vascular malformations. Those things are also things that I treat. So that's kind of the only other thing that I would kind of put in there, if you will.
Outstanding. For people who would like to get in touch with you, make an appointment, learn more, how do they do it?
Well, you can call Mercy Health. Just a general number is great. I think our number, my nurse told me the number this morning. It's 815-971-0699. Once again, 815-971-0699 for an appointment. And as a final thing, I should say that if you come and talk to us, it's just a conversation. And conversations, I want you to ask me the questions that you're scared to ask me. I'll answer you bluntly. I want you to know exactly what's going on. So, come by, have a conversation. Again, I'm not here to convince you to have surgery. I'm just here to help you.
Well, and if you need some help, Dr. Szymczak seems like just the guy you ought to be calling. Doctor, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for a great sense of humor. Thanks for the way you approach things. Well, how refreshing to hear all the things that you had to say. Your patients are in really, really good care with you at the helm, and we appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Thank you, my friend. Greatly appreciate your time.
Dr. Artur Szymczak, he is with Mercy Health.